What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance crew, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get videos out as much as I want to these last few days. I've been extremely busy, and I figured about now is probably the time I'd be doing a Ricky Gervais reaction. So I might as well go ahead and give that to you guys, because, oh, wow, that was a hell of a hiccup. But yeah, I figured I might as well give it to you guys because it's about that time of the week. So this is the next episode of the Ricky Gervais Show. This is season 1, episode 9, called The Jockey. Now, we've already checked out the other episodes, and like I said, there are a few episodes in the other seasons that I've watched before I decided to start doing this chronologically. So I have, like, I believe one reaction to like something from season 2 and one reaction to like a season 3 episode. But I do have a playlist on my channel that you can click on now, and you can watch all the videos I've reacted to so far. But anyway, let's jump into this and see what it has to offer. Oh yeah, this video was uploaded by Tianshu. Again, I will have a link for their channel at the end of this video. You can click on and go to their channel, check out all their stuff, like their videos.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Karl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant. Hello. And the little round-headed buffoon that is Karl Pilkington.
All right. I wonder if we should have a jingle for questions for Karl, because there's a lot of questions coming in for Karl.
Okay.
Oh, chimpanzee, that question's for Karl.
Yeah, okay, no, fair enough, that works.
Okay.
This is from Jim and Bob in Manchester. Karl, if you could talk to any animal, which one would it be and what would you say to it?
Insect, animal, anything, fish, anything.
Well, they said animal, but let's broaden it to anything.
Animal,
any creature.
Insect is an animal.
Yeah, no, but I'm just, I don't want to get it wrong. I'm just thinking about,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff out there, isn't there? I'd probably go for the tortoise.
Okay.
Because it would take a long time to walk away from you while you were talking.
No, just because
Most animals would be off straight away.
Yeah.
just because they live for ages, so they'll have loads of stories. They've lived through a lot. You know what I mean? Through wars and stuff. If you get an old one, if you get like an old one, that's about 100
Most of them have
years.
lived in a box in a garden for 52 years.
No, but you get some that have been about, and even if it's in a box,
Oh yeah,
you can overeat.
they've really travelled, have they?
Yeah.
I mean,
Some of them have experienced more than you,
Yeah.
but they've broadened their horizons a bit more than you. They could probably teach you a thing or two, yeah.
And what would you hope to learn from them?
just history.
Right. From their very specific tortoise perspective. Other emails. We've had a lot of questions about time travel. People are fascinated about your approach.
I was
to
there
time
by the
travel.
tortoise.
I know
Sounds
we've
like
talked about this in the past, but this is a very specific time travel
something the
question.
Beatles would make.
If you had a time machine, Karl, to what event in your childhood would you travel back to and why?
What's the point in going back to things that you've... No, it's just that it's never as good, is it? It's like a place you go on holiday, and you go back thinking it'll be as good as the first time. It never is. So I don't believe in going back to places.
What do you understand the question as? Do you think they're asking, would you go back like a ghost and spy? Would you go back and you've got your childhood back? You are that child again. You're in the body. You are the child, or you've got your adult head and experiences on.
Rick, I really don't think Karl was thinking there was any of those variations. Let's be honest. But now that you've flagged them
I
up,
think he was thinking of him as he is now in school with a cap on.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Too big for the chairs.
yeah. Come on.
No, I don't think I would go back. It's all happened now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's an email for our own amusement.
Well, okay. Well,
choose an event. Okay, forget the time travel thing.
No, hang on. I think let's clarify one of Ricky's points. What if you could go back and you could live that moment again? How would you do it differently?
There's been times where I've gone, oh, that was a bit out of order or whatever. But then you learn from your mistakes, don't you? So I don't want to go back and change stuff, because it's like that thing that they go on about, innit, where they blame the butterfly on an earthquake. You know,
Butterfly
it's going to
effect.
happen. If it wasn't that butterfly, it's another one. So why pass the buck? is what I'm saying.
So you've got no regrets. There's nothing in your past you'd
what
want to
about-
change or do differently.
What about if you went back and you spied like a ghost on something? You couldn't change anything, but you could have a look at someone and just sort of look like you
Like
know,
what?
like Ebenezer Scrooge does, the Ghost of Christmas Past. He goes back and he's sort of like looking at himself dancing and stuff. What would you do? What would you go back and have a look at?
Yeah, but you're asking me to change. I don't want to change.
He has-
it.
You're not changing,
you
you're just
don't change anything.
observing.
It's impossible.
All right, I tell
this
you what.
question, this is
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. You're not going to have to do this. It's impossible.
Right, yeah, I nearly died once, didn't I? On an ice pop.
Right.
Right? Now, maybe if I would have died, I'd say, well, let's go back to that, and I won't have an ice pop.
You wouldn't be doing the podcast if you had died. You wouldn't be having this email put to you. What are you
That's
talking
absurd. You're
about?
now saying you're rewriting history and then going back to change it.
He'd be a ghost
There's
in
no
the
need.
studio
You did
observing
that.
you guys talking about this.
And we've changed it. You can't change anything. You're just going to go back and watch them. Would you like to go back and watch yourself choking on a Mr. Freeze?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't go back now, because I'm all right. I haven't had one since. I've learnt a lesson. I'm not missing them ice pops. So
I don't think you're making the most of this opportunity to fantasize.
I don't see the point in going back.
Never
in
had an
anything.
ice
I mean,
pop
do you
again.
mean go back in time to the point of you can see like Rome in its working day?
What, in your childhood? Was Rome about when in your childhood? Were there gladiators
Well,
in your
that's what I'm
childhood?
saying. Everything I've been through. So why see it again?
Forget it. It was just a nice little question.
I mean, that shows the lack of imagination
Right,
in Karl
all right.
Pilkington.
Can
Your
I-
mind can't
all right,
fathom
what-
something unless it's like, you know, got two heads.
But I don't see the point in doing something twice. Because the thing is, say if there's one good moment when I was about 6 that I loved, I'd then have to go through all the other 20 years again.
Well, why? Why have you imposed that? This is a fantasy. Make up.
You could
Just
go
say-
back and come back
Yeah,
again.
whiz back and fast forward 35 years.
Nah.
Brilliant. No.
No.
Like it was on offer. Like this was really on offer. Move on.
Migrant workers in South China are wearing adult diapers on packed trains heading home for the New Year holiday because they've got no access to the toilet. Many supermarkets in this particular part of China have reported a 50% increase in sales of adult nappies for the train trips. Now, what do you make of that, Karl? You're on a long, long train journey, 3 hours.
Is nappies a term that the Chinese use, or is it something that's a UK term? You guys have to let me know that. I'm pretty sure it's a UK term, but I want to know if it's a real term.
Many supermarkets in this particular part of China have reported a 50% increase in sales of adult nappies for the train trips. Now, what do you make of that, Karl? You're on a long, long train journey, 3 hours, 4 hours.
You know there's no toilet. You know you're going to need to go. Pop on a...
Why isn't there any toilets?
They just aren't on the trains.
And they're a really long journey.
Yeah.
How long?
Hours.
Very long in China. It's a big country.
I wouldn't. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. I'd have to hold it in or something. Just like, I mean, when I was a young kid, I don't know how young you are when you wear a nappy and that, but I remember that I didn't like it.
No, he doesn't.
Doing it in a pair of pants.
You do not
and that,
remember.
and the nappies and that. And I used to have to, even when I was too small to sort of get up on the toilet and that, because you'd fall in.
No, he does not remember wearing diapers. He doesn't. Unless he was like 5 years old wearing diapers. He doesn't remember himself wearing diapers. This time I'm going to have to turn Ricky Gervais on you, Karl. No, you did not. That did not happen. That is a lie.
My mum knew that I didn't like nappies and that. I used to just go in the corner, just near the kitchen, in this thing that, like a litter tray. And I'd go there, and I'd do my thing. And, you know, my mum used to say, oh, he's going there, don't look at him and that, because it put me off.
The
You know, like
drawings.
cats don't like being watched when they do it.
When they go in their little tray in the kitchen.
No, they don't like it. I
Look,
tested it
what
again.
are you, just like a little feral kid, just running around and going to the litter tray, covering it up, and then running up the curtain and eating a sweet at the top of the pelmet?
No, but nobody likes being watched, and that's what
Where
I'm
did
saying.
he
If
pull
you're
that
sat on
from?
a train and you're knocking one out and that, and everyone's looking at you, I don't think it'll catch on.
Well, it has caught on.
Has it
They're all
caught
doing
on,
it. They're just sitting there. They're doing, you know, they're reading the paper, doing Sudoku, and they're looking round when they're going. They're thinking, oh, no one knows I'm going. And everyone's thinking that, and everyone's going.
I mean, what are we getting to? You know what I mean? What's going on in the world that this is happening?
I know.
I mean, people have always had to travel for ages. I just don't understand why there isn't a toilet on it. We're going backwards. We're going backwards. aren't we? Why isn't there a toilet on it?
Well, maybe there is, but maybe people are thinking the queue is going to take forever. If you've got 125 million people
Yeah, but
going
not
back.
everybody wants to go at once. I mean, I know Chinese and all that are like at the forefront of everything that goes on in the world, inventing stuff first, but this isn't one of the best that they've come up with.
What have they invented then, the Chinese? Just
Loads of stuff, haven't they? They've
Yeah,
done
well,
loads
I
of stuff.
was going to ask you. You seem quite educated on the subject. But...
They did them cat mop things that I told you about.
Brilliant.
This was where you put mops on the feet of cats, was that right?
Yeah. And they wander about the house, clean up and that, wash the floor for you once they're puttering about. They've done like hats with umbrellas on them. They've done. I mean, they know
The amazing
for, like,
inventions of the
coming up with
Chinese.
stuff first.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was gunpowder, but yeah, cups and mops is good as well.
Movable type, you know, things like that. Nah, cat shoes.
Well,
Cat mops.
now to one of our most popular features. I mean, this could even rival monkey news one day. It is monkey news. It's you know, it's news from the point of view of a monkey, a shaved monkey. It's Karl Pilkington's diary.
Oh, he's written it down, yeah.
Was that the jingle, or were you just,
Oh, yeah,
just
sure.
annoyed about something?
I think that Ricky has a theme with his songs.
Went and did the podcast. We had a meeting after. I don't like meetings as I can't keep focused on what people are talking about. I think Ricky has the same problem as after 25 minutes he was trying to wrestle me. I tried to do what spiders do and stayed still as if I was dead. But Ricky just stayed on top of me, not moving. A bit like when you see one of them big snakes swallowing a sheep. Ricky got bored and released me. I went home thinking, why had I left my old job for this? A homeless man asked me for some money, but I didn't feel like I should treat him as I felt that he'd probably had a better day than me.
Oh, God.
Suzanne called me to say she'd gone for a haircut and that she'd meet me in the supermarket. I went to the supermarket, but she wasn't there. I called her and she said she was near the fruit aisle. I went to the fruit aisle and she wasn't there. Turns out she was in a different supermarket on the other side of town. And that if I'd listened to her properly, I'd have known that. I didn't want to say that I...
Well, you just
At least
went
he
to
knew
the
it.
first supermarket you thought of, as opposed to listening to what supermarket. I'm in the supermarket. All right, bye.
I didn't want to say that I hadn't heard her properly because my ears were ringing a bit from the wrestling from earlier. 25 minutes later, I met up with Suzanne. Her haircut wasn't that bad. Normally her haircuts are followed by an argument between us as she pays over the odds for some daft haircut that's the latest style.
Brilliant.
I wish she'd take a picture out of a magazine or ask for a style rather than letting the hairdresser do what she wants. I said I only tell her to do this as she's got a square head and a close-cut hairdo makes it look squarer.
Damn.
She said, what do you think of this cut? I said it looked all right as I couldn't be bothered arguing about it. It's weird writing a diary. I don't know who thought of doing one of these first. The last time I did one was at school. They used to get you to do it so they could keep an eye on whatever you were up to. My diary used to say the same thing every night. Got home, went to the shop to get potatoes, bread, milk. Went home, watched telly, went to bed. I think I might have gone to Twiggy's Dance Club just so I had something different to write. You've not told us about Twiggy's Dance Club.
It's just, you know, I sort of, when I was a kid, I sort of gave everything a bit of a go. I did boxing and that, didn't I? Gave that a go.
For about 45 minutes.
And yeah, a mate sort of said, "Oh, you know, you're into your dancing, your robotics and that. You're doing your body popping and that." He said, "You ought to come to Twiggy's." And I went there, but I didn't go in. It was shut. They were just having like loads of toilet rolls delivered. I think like they were like using it as a storage place for toilet rolls and that. So I said, "Oh, I've come to have a dance." And like, "Oh, not tonight. Come back tomorrow." I never went back.
Brilliant. What a waste of an anecdote. Right.
The idea of Karl
Just
pop
to
locking
recap,
outside
you're
of a
convinced
club.
then that the teachers are asking you to keep diaries so they can keep tabs on you. And then to continue the diary, as there were more problems happening on the estate, they started to add Saturday and Sundays to the school diary to keep an eye on what we were doing at the weekend. I struggled to fill it on a Sunday as the shop I got potatoes and bread from was shut on a Sunday. I had to go over to Shepherd's Bush to meet someone. I got the tube. There was a badly burnt man on the tube. It's amazing how the body can continue through quite a lot of bad stuff. It got me thinking about how much stuff you could remove in your body, one by one, without dying. If it was a competition,
Red
the
flag.
cockroach would win, as it can live for a week without a head.
Red
I
flag.
just mean like, say if, you know, they're running out of ideas for TV programs and that, right? They get someone who isn't well, They go, look, do you mind if we make a programme on you? And what they do, they sit them in the bed and they go, right, what we're going to do now is take out the heart but replace it with a pacemaker. Right, go on.
No. Sorry, people with pacemakers don't have their heart taken out and a pacemaker popped in.
All right then, some sort of machine. What I'm getting to is...
Have you been playing Operation?
What I mean is the big finale would just be a head chatting with loads of wires going into it, and it's like, look what we can do with science.
That's what the programme's called. It's the same every week. The volunteer is just a head with loads of wires coming out
Look
of it.
what we can do with science.
He's going,
Goodbye. Got some post delivered to me today. It was... Oh, this is
This
great.
makes it in the diary.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington.
Not even gonna lie. There's a person, I don't know if it's, I think it's YouTube. I don't know if it's YouTube or Twitter, but there was somebody who subscribed to me who I believe their name is Dilkington. I believe it's like a Karl Pilkington parody account or something, but their name is Dilkington. If you see this video, leave a comment so people know you exist. Like I said, I don't know how long it's been since I've last seen one of their comments, but it's just funny that sticks out to me for sure.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington.
I don't know why that's so funny. Oh, God.
The girl's
I got
face.
some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington. I opened it and the first sentence read, "Dear Mr. K. Dilkington, you're one of our most valuable customers." I put it in the bin. Thought I would learn some new words, as Steve always says I don't use enough different words. I read in the Fortean Times that the word "wew" means an ugly female ghost with drooping breasts.
What do you mean?
Is that how am I pronouncing
Who's
that right?
using that
Woo-
word?
woo-
Who is
woo.
using that word?
It was just W-E-W-E.
Let's call it a woo. An ugly...
We're gonna call it wee wee from now on. Okay, now, Karl, I understand that you want to learn different words, expand your vocabulary, things like that. You might want to pick words that you probably will use in everyday conversation. Because a wee wee isn't one of them, goddammit. When was the well, I'm sure he knows this at this point. I don't know why the hell I'm trying to preach to him. It's a funny choice of word to learn. I'm sure you're probably one of the few people that know about it. I've never heard of it, so it's a new word for me now. I don't know if I should be appreciative or if I should be upset, but I know a new word today.
Using that word.
It was just W-E-W-E.
Let's call it a woo. An ugly female ghost with drooping breasts. I think I'm right when I say there are too many words in the world. I don't think I will ever get round to using the word woo. Watched a health programme. Wasn't watching it
least he
properly, but
knows.
heard some doctors say that we only get so many heartbeats in a lifetime, so don't do too much exercise. I told Suzanne, and she said I probably hadn't heard it right. We got talking about
God
death.
damn it.
Suzanne said she didn't like thinking about it. I said she might end up being a woo. I was chuffed as I'd managed to use my new word.
Hey, he found a way to put it into a conversation. I mean, what more can I say? That is the very... He learned a word and he used it. A word that I did not think he would use, but somehow he slam dunked that bitch. Yo, Karl, bravo, man. Bra freaking vo. I cannot believe that you managed to put that or slip that into everyday conversation.
I was chuffed as I'd managed to use my new word. I went to the supermarket to get tonight's tea. On the way, I stopped and looked in the fishmongers at all the different fish they had in the window. It's like a child in one of those kids' TV shows.
I know.
Mr. Pilkington went to the fishmonger. He stopped and looked at all the fish in the window.
Hello, Mr. Dilkington, they said.
There was a newspaper clipping stuck on the glass
Hopefully I
about
won't
a
get
two-headed
demonetized
fish
for that.
they've made in Taiwan. I don't see the point in doing this, as a fish having two heads ain't gonna solve the world's hunger problems, as the head is the bit you throw away. Invent a fish with two bodies, and I'd say well done.
Good point, isn't it?
Suzanne watched one of her favourite TV programmes. I've told her the telly only goes on if there's something she wants to watch. If there's nothing on, she has to talk to me about stuff I've learnt. Like Descartes. Watched a programme on him the other day. He is the one who said something like, I know I'm about 'cause I dream. Doesn't work for everything 'cause ants don't sleep. I don't know if I'd like that or not. You don't know if you would like it if you didn't ever
Not
sleep.
sleeping. It's just one long day. I don't know. Don't know how you'd put up with that. Do you think it'd be a good idea?
No.
Why not?
Because, as you said, it would get a bit boring. You know, your sleep is your rest, your time off. It helps you detoxify. It helps you sort of think things through on a subconscious level.
I'd love to not be able to
So
sleep.
don't you ever get it where, I mean, sometimes
Like if I
it's
didn't
brilliant to
have
have
to.
a sleep when you're tired, but don't you sometimes
Yeah,
feel
that's
like...
the best time to have a sleep when
Yeah.
you're tired.
No,
yeah.
but sometimes when you go to bed and you're not that tired and you're kind of thinking, oh, I'm going to waste some hours of my life now and I'm not really in the mood for this
Well, that's
sleeping.
just wishing you had longer on this earth doing creative things. I mean, if you didn't have to sleep, you could spend more time talking to a tortoise and going to the toffee shop.
Well, it's that time again. If you'd give us the jingle, please.
Oh, chimpanzee that.
Mix it up a little bit.
Okay, now that surely cannot be fair on anyone's ears listening.
Right, ages ago, right, about the 1950s,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
there was this gangster knocking about. And do you know how, like,
Was he called Hairy Fingers?
do you know how, like, a lot of gangsters like to get into gambling and that?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, like all his peers and that, all these mates who are like gangsters and stuff, they've all bought horses, right? That they take racing and they make money from them and that, don't they?
Yeah.
So anyway, he
And
was
Chuckles the Seagull was no different.
like, and he was like, yeah, that's a good thing to get into. I might get into a bit of that, right? So he gets himself this horse, right? And there's a big race coming up. That's why he's sort of he's a bit of a last minute.
And the jockey turns up and it's fine. He's a human jockey and it's fine. Excellent. Okay, well, that was another podcast.
So anyway, so it's-
please listen
hang on,
next.
there's more, there's more.
Oh, go on.
So anyway, this big race is coming
Ricky
up.
knows
He's
what's
like, I've got to
coming.
be involved in this because I can make a lot of money out of my horse here.
Choose the jockey wisely then.
So he says to his mate, he said, look, I've got myself a horse and that. He said, we just need a jockey, get someone
Oh, yeah.
sort it out and
Yeah.
what have you, so we can get in this race.
Go to the jockey
his,
club. Loads
His
of
mate's
people.
like, yeah, all right, I'll have a word and that, have a look round and that, see if there's anyone decent.
And the
knocking out
good
there.
thing about jockeys is there's never been a shortage of jockeys because a lot of them don't make the grade. So there's always too many jockeys to go round.
Always too many human jockeys.
Yeah, there's never a problem getting jockeys.
They're trying to curb his story
So
before it
anyway,
goes where
right,
they think it's
so
going to go.
His mate says, look, I'm having a problem getting a jockey.
Seems odd
Oh,
because
no,
Ricky's
this
just
is
been
weird.
saying he's just been saying it's not a problem.
What do you mean? So
Just because the main problem was
Go on.
a lot of jockeys were aware of this gangster and were saying, I'm not getting involved with this guy. The chances are I won't get paid, you know, he's a gangster, it's not
No,
worth
you
it.
would do it if it was a gangster asking you. You'd be scared of the consequences.
So anyway, he's saying, look, don't be coming to me with problems and that, right? I've got the horse, I want it in the race, sort it out. So they're like, oh, but boss, and he's like, don't give me any of that. Go and
exactly,
sort it out.
they do what he says. So any jockey would do it.
So anyway, so the day before,
The big race, yeah. Left it to the last minute, okay, but fine.
and he says, have you got a jockey then? They're like, yeah, but, and he's going, don't worry about it, have you got a jockey? Yeah, but, and he's like, well, look.
He wants
what-
to say, sure, yeah.
So
they will.
he's saying, has he ridden the horses before and that? He said, well, yeah, he has, but mainly, and he's like brilliant. He goes,
jungle.
yeah, but mainly in like a
in
circus.
the jung
No, like in the circus and that. He'd worked with horses and stuff.
in the
apparently.
circus.
So he's like, that's enough. That's all I need to know.
Oh, they'd be too heavy because circus people
so-
are quite built, aren't they? They're
He said
be a
so-
bit heavier than the jockey because the jockeys are about 8.5 stone.
He said, brilliant. Get him down there and that, right? Anyway, the race happens.
He didn't want to meet him beforehand. He wasn't worried.
No
about that.
point, not
No,
bothered.
no.
As far as he's concerned,
It's all sorted.
he's putting his money on it and what have you.
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
What happened is they were trying to make him put on the jockey outfit,
Yeah.
but for some reason it didn't fit that well.
Sleeves
And that-
too
it was-
short,
it was
legs too long.
That sort of problem.
Okay.
So they let him, like, you know, wear his stuff that he wore in the circus and that, because it's comfortable with that. He's happy with it. Do you know what I mean? That's what he's happy with. Anyway, race starts and what have you. This horse straight out of the trap and that, high speed, right? This jockey's got a really big grin on his face. He's loving it, right? Everyone's cheering, going, "Who's this? Who's this jockey?" Yeah, it's amazing. Never seen him before. Yeah, look at him.
But they can see his face clearly.
Anyway, Gangster's happy in that because he's won.
But I just want to say the crowd can see the jockey, can they?
What?
The crowd can. I mean, it's
Yeah, but
face
he's
not-
so fast and what have you.
It's a blur, it's all a blur.
He's good at it. I mean, apparently he was
Right.
close to falling off, and people were like, he's gone, he's a goner.
Right.
He's got such a good reach that he managed to grab hold of at the end of it, you know, like the winner sort of rides around the crowd bit,
Yeah.
sort of, you know, show off and what have you.
Yeah,
And all the women are there, and you know, like women all dolled up at these events.
sure.
They've all got big hats on.
Sometimes they've got fruit on those hats.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Right.
Carl's like, sure, why not?
And one of the
In
women,
the 50s, particularly, Karl Miranda was very popular.
yeah.
one of the women had like you say, fruit and what have you on it,
Yeah.
a little banana.
Right, simply
They're
Cuban
not
women.
real. They're not real though. The hats. They're
It's not real fruit, is it?
No, of
Yeah.
course not. Never.
So it-
But I don't know
Really,
who. I thought they wore those. Sort
Only
of
the
kind of
highest
Cuban
caliber of women
Yeah,
have
it's
real
table
fruit
shapes.
on their
I didn't realise
hats.
they wore them at
Yeah, but
events.
even if it's like a big event, you know, you might have a hat with fruit, and it's sort of joke, but it's fake fruit because it would
Yeah.
perish. It
Well,
would.
this jockey didn't understand that. He'd never seen false fruit.
I don't understand.
But why did the jockey? So why was he so desperate for fruit? I don't understand.
So anyway, meanwhile, the gangster's collecting his 500 quid winnings. Right,
Yeah.
he's over the moon.
Yeah.
He kicks off because of this woman with the fruit.
Yeah, I don't understand. I still don't understand
don't
why the
understand.
jockey would go.
Everyone noticed. Jockey, little monkey fella.
Oh, that makes sense. If he was a monkey, that would make sense.
Yeah.
What year was this? Because
We
It was
did-
1950s, and
we
that's
didn't
where the
see it
saying
coming.
comes from about, you know, like in Cockney slang, 500 quid is a monkey. He sort of put, he put a monkey on it, and it all goes back to the time
So
when
this happened in England.
in this country,
It
yeah, the
happened in England. So
1950s.
someone could well still be alive that
So,
we could easily
yeah.
contact. That
Well,
would
that's it.
confirm
We
that,
always,
'cause they
you
were
know,
at the
there's no
event.
time length on this monkey news if you've got any, if it's history, you know, if it
Yeah.
goes back.
Or
you
if
know,
it's
years
made
ago.
up, bullshit.
Just
It's
send it
always
in.
made up,
So,
bullshit.
If you've got
Send
any
it in.
bollocks,
If it's
if you want to
bollocks,
send it in.
please send it in.
That's this week's monkey news.
Man, I love the Ricky Gervais show. I'm not even gonna lie. With Ricky Gervais and Idiot Abroad, I kind of like Ricky Gervais show a little bit better. Because, well, I'm not really sure why exactly. I think it's a little bit more fast paced. Like, they kind of get to the punchlines and the jokes and stuff a little bit more frequently. Whereas in Idiot Abroad, the joke is pretty much them screwing with Karl. And Karl has to kind of get to his destination before the joke can be brought on him. But yeah, like I love the way, especially the drawings. The drawings add some type of enhancement to it. I'm not sure. It's just a funny look to it. It makes it so much funnier in my opinion. But yeah, I still love both of them. I will be doing another Idiot Abroad season 2 soon. I just finished the first season. I look forward to seeing you guys at those reactions when they do eventually get up. And, well, next is, of course, episode 10. I wanted to see what it was called, but whatever. I'll save that for when when I do the reaction to it. But anyway, I'm Devon DaVinci. You've just been a little bit more enlightened. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Be sure to check out Tianshu Lee's channel, I'm sorry. And because they have a ton of other videos, they have a ton of other, not just Ricky Gervais videos, but they have a lot of other stuff like Graham Norton, all types of other shows. So if you want to go and see what they have, be sure to click on the link at the end of this video and go check out their catalog. They have a crazy amount of videos. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I want to thank you guys for coming through one more time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I look forward to see you guys on my next video. Until then, though, I'm going to give you the deuces, and I'm signing out. Deuces.